What's up? We got Supergirl season 1, episode 6. Episode 6. Red faced. So this episode start. So yeah. This episode starts out with Supergirl defeating a bad guy when Alex is yeah. It's like, yeah, and then we see Kara and Lucy hang out, and Kara's like, and Lucy's like, hey, are you on? And she's like, okay. And she's like, what are we on for? And she's like, I brought her to family game night. I invite Lucy to game night. And she's like, okay, I like Lucy, but Lucy not like Supergirl, because Supergirl is, so Gerald Lane, the worst terrible character of the year, shows up and is like, hey, Kara, and she's like, hey, I want one of your assets, and she's like, I want one of your agents, Supergirl, and she's like, Supergirl doesn't work for this organization, and he's like, yeah, I still want her to, and then Major Lane shows up, and who's that? Lucy, but the weird thing, Lucy should be wearing the exact same outfit and cap as her father does, but she doesn't because CBS was really budging on their budget when the episode came out. But so yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, we want you to fight RT," and they're like, "It's not an android called RT. His name's not RT. His name is Red Tornado." And I'm like, and then they show Red Tornado. I'm like, that's not my Red Tornado. That's not what Red Tornado looks like. CBS, do you really budget? Yeah, so everything that happened, Kara hanging out. So Kara seeing Jimmy and Lucy together causes Kara to go gang up on the android, beating up, even when they're like, Kara, stop. She's like, boom, 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 boom. Red Tornado fires wind out of its hands, which I'm like, is that something it can do? I do not think it can do that. I don't think Red Tornado can do that. So it blasts at it, but Kara's able to knock it down, which it's able to activate its different mode, which causes it to fly away. And then it causes it to go invisible, which then generally blames Kara, saying, hey, if you hadn't gone all crazy, now you released a killing machine on National City. And he's like, now we have to destroy it. And Moral's like, destroy it? But that's my creation. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, whose fault for creating it, Moral? You're fired. So Moral's fired. So Kat's mom's in town, and boy, she's the worst. She just prioritizes herself over Kat, saying about how, and she calls Kat Kitty, which doesn't make, I know Kat's a cat, I know Kat's name's Cat, but you could just call it Cat. Yeah. Why isn't it even Cat anyway? So Kat keeps yelling Kara's name over and over, and Kara's like, hey, I don't care about you, you're weak and worthless. And Kara's like, don't talk to her about that. Kara does, please don't talk to her like that. She does everything for Kat, and all she gets is complaining and yelling, why is Kat so mean? And so Kat and Kara have this wonderful moment that reminds me of that Quentin and Oliver moment from season 2 of Arrow, where they talk about their problems and about how Kat's like, Kara, you don't have a problem with me. There's something else. The problem isn't with her. And she's like, yeah, it is. And she's like, no, it's not. And she's like, you gotta take down the anger behind your anger. So Kara starts punching a car window, and she's like, Kat's right. I do have some anger behind the anger. So, and she's like, seeing James and Lucy together makes her realize that she can never have what they have and be with someone like, be in love with someone like they can. So yeah, so Geraldine is hanging out with James and like talking with James and bad mouthing James, saying about how James can never be good for Lucy and he just wants to protect his daughter and all that stuff. But that's when Red Tornado attacks, doing the flying tornado thing with its legs that it can do in the actual comics. And that's the only time it uses it. What a wasted potential with this character. Yeah, so they realize that. So, yeah. So do you know what they realize? They realize is that Moro, yeah. So Kara tries to fight Red Tornado, but Red Tornado blocks all of her punches. And Kara realizes that maybe it got like faster and accelerated since the last time they fought, and Geraldine's still mad at her, saying about how you hold aliens in this DEO. How is she not like them? And she's like, Kara just saved you and your daughter's life, so you should be totally giving her a thank you instead of you should totally stop showing fear and contempt and owe her a thank you. And Geraldine just leaves. So yeah, he just leaves. He just doesn't do anything. He just leaves. So yeah, so they realize that Moro is controlling Red Tornado, so it challenges Kara to a fight. So Kara challenges to a fight. Alex is fighting Moro as Kara is fighting Red Tornado. Kara uses all of her laser eyes to destroy Red Tornado as Alex shoots Moro dead, and poof, it blows up, destroying Red Tornado. Bye, Red Tornado. You looked so terrible. You only used your actual power one time, where you could float into the sky like your tornado. Your legs could fly like a tornado, like one time. And you also look terrible. So bye. Yeah. So Kara. So we see a cat and her mom scene where Cat's like calls Kara's cat and mom called Kara. She's like, why do you care about this creature? And she's like, and I'm like, creature? How dare you talk to her like that? And she's like, Kara is the best intern she has ever had. She does whatever she wants. She does whatever Cat says, and you don't get to talk to her about that way. So we'll leave. Bye. And we never see Cat's mom again. So bye. And then Cat, yeah, that was a pretty good scene. Cat, Kara finally understand each other. Cat defends Kara. Cat gives Kara advice on how to control her anger. And yeah, so then Cat drinks. So Cat does her daily vitamin drink, but then accidentally drops her drink and breaks the glass. And then Kara tries to help her, but then and she's like, you'll cut yourself. And she's like, oh, I told you to be careful. And we see Kara bleed. Yeah. Now Kara, since as we learned, Kryptonians can't bleed. Does that mean Kara's lost her powers? They're now redoing Smallville again. Remember that episode where Clark didn't have his powers and he kept bleeding? This is the same thing as that. But for this, we don't know why Kara is bleeding. We don't know why she doesn't have powers. And also, Lucy leaves her dad to be with James because she cares about James more. Leaves working with her dad to be with James. And this was a good episode. This was a good episode. Cat's mom never shows up again after this episode. Good. She was totally mean to Kara at the end, which didn't deserve it. Cat and Kara had that really good moment where they bonded with each other, and I really enjoyed that. Moro, they made a terrible Red Tornado with a terrible suit sign. Moro just chose to be the villain in the end, and I'm guessing he was controlling Red Tornado the entire time, which we didn't see until the end, and Alex shot him. dead. Alex shot him, and now he's dead. And Kara blew up Red Tornado, getting all of her anger out on Red Tornado, blowing him up. And that's the episode. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good episode. Next time I think we have the 3. Do we have? Next episode, next Supergirl, we have to review 3 Supergirl episodes at a time. But for Arrow and Flash, we have the crossover event, Legends of Today and Legends of Yesterday, which I'm excited to review because it sets up the next Arrowverse show that I'll be checking out, Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow. It sets that up. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time, and we'll review some more Supergirl. Up and away.